dear viewers, welcome to Lumen this day. My name is Sidin Mwamainda. As you may be aware, citizens of Zambia and the world is watching. Yesterday we expected the mortal remains of His Excellency Edgar Chagwa to be in the country, but that was not to be. And this has raised a lot of talk in Zambia and of course beyond our borders. I'm joined by Vincent Piri on the program. Vincent, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Sydney, and welcome viewers.
Yes, today the weather is a little bit favorable to us. You have no coat, I have no coat. Is it by design or we're trying to brave it the wrong way?
No, I think the weather is now becoming a bit more friendly. Yeah, I think we could see the sun as early as 06 hours, which wasn't the case a few days ago. Yeah, well, we hope this weather continues, because I think this is the weather that I actually enjoy myself.
The warm weather.
The warm weather, yes.
That's the one you enjoy the most.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so I like the fact that you're saying at least now we are able to see the sun much earlier than before. Yes, I'm one person who easily gets cold. However, the sun is rising early, but it's still dark on Zambia. The late president died on the 5th of June.
Yeah.
And there have been negotiation between government and the family, and an agreement was made. And we expected the remains of the late president to be in the country.
Yeah.
By yesterday, the grave site or the burial site is ready. I'm sure the director will be showing us a picture of how it looks for those who are outside Lusaka town to see that the grave site there it is ready, waiting for burial. The remains are not coming, and even our diplomatic friends or South Africa were ready by yesterday to bring the remains of the late president, and also do the honors, the military send off. But it was not to be. We had some people here in Zambia. Waiting at the airport. The members of parliament were there waiting for the remains. As in sports, they will say they were left akimbo. Vincent, what do you make of all this?
Yeah, I think it is sad, Sydney. We talked about this last week, and last week, of course, it was the first time that there was that delay in the repatriation of the remains of the former president. And of course, yesterday, Wednesday, was the day that everyone else expected that now the remains will be repatriated to Zambia. But unfortunately, it couldn't happen, because family members had to come in, and of course they thought the government will not stick to their plans. Yeah, because I think they were clear they didn't want the current president to be near the remains of the late president Edgar Chagwa. And so because of a few changes that they thought have been made, they thought maybe the government cannot be trusted, and as a result the remains were delayed even further.
Yeah, and what is happening is not only it's not only something that is disturbing to the Zambians, but now we read and see that we are ending up even disturbing other people. wasting other people's time. So maybe as at now, let us see a news report from SABIC and what the complaints are and how much they are saying they've been helping Zambia, and indeed they are helping Zambia. Let us just see this report from SABIC.
Not embarrassing scenario.
I think the South African government is very embarrassed. I mean, remember, DERCO issued a statement yesterday, and I don't think the South African government is happy. I don't think Pretoria is happy because they made all the arrangements. You can imagine that embarrassment at the airport. You had officials from the South African National Defence Force, and they were trying to accord the late President Edgar Lungu the dignity he deserves from South African side. And South Africa has done a lot since the standoff between the government of Zambia and the family of President Edgar Lungu. And I think much as diplomatically, they won't go public and express disappointment and anger and embarrassment, but I don't think behind the scenes it's normal. And I mean, that was an embarrassment. As I pointed out, as media, we arrived at 6 o'clock. SABC crew, we arrived 6 o'clock. Because we believe in being early and being ready, and then we were told at 8 formalities will start, and then later we saw a program saying starting at 10, and then finally around lunchtime it didn't happen, and you can imagine the frustration from the Department of International Relations, including the Defence Force, because there were senior officials of the Defence.
Okay, so that is SABIC there. Disappointment, as they say, and indeed disappointment. But we saw again later on as they were waiting there, and the family set up, we can say, a press conference to explain what is it that is happening, where they said the body actually will not be repatriated today. Let us see that that press conference a little bit of the family and how they made the statement.
Mazina yangu neo ni Nebo Betha Lungu. Ni Nebo nkashia kwa Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Chagwa Lungu emwa echo wandi uku nka ine panuma. Nomba ndefu ayokulanda kuchalo cha Zambia. Uko ati mumfwe ifyo ndelanda munivele maningi vamele vunufunola vila. Nifuna kulabira kuti uyu mubiri wa Chagwa wamene utudoselana pali zino ntawi taoneka monga seolomba tawika mumanja ya mwine Mulungu niya kuti azive viti kuti tichite pali zino ntawi tifuna tinkale pasi tikambilane monga banja tizive viti kuti tichite osati seo te banja tuodoselana na boma tifuna kuti tinkale pamozi tike maganizo pamozi lomba tikunga kumva kuti mailo statement ya chinja lomba seo te banja titolepo chinji so pora bila vonse hivyo. That's why amakebi Zulu nievunu pasa mpamvu neo ne sister wao kuti atilavirire ku ziko la Zambia viti kuti vikonkepo vitufuna kuti tichite nineo nuva pa mpamvu amakebi ozitolera lini mpamvu mubeka bene
Fellow countrymen and women, brothers, sisters, and everyone who's listening in or indeed watching us. This is a statement for and on behalf of the Lungu family relating to the burial and funeral of the late President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. As the public may be aware, we had engaged government on the arrangements relating to the burial of the late 6th Republican President of the Republic of Zambia, President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Following a joint briefing between family and government, we came to an agreed position that the mortal remains of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu would be repatriated today, the 18th of June, 2025. It was agreed among other things, that the body would at all times lay in state at the official residence of the deceased in Chifwema. It was further agreed that parties would jointly make decisions upon consultation. However, the family has noted with regret that there have been attempts to subvert the spirit of the agreement that the family and the government got into by engagement into the following on the part of the government. On the 16th of June 2025, a statement to the public was released by a road development agency stating that they would be carrying out repair works of the road from Crossroads 7 kilometers onwards. As the public may know, this is a road that leads to Chifwema, the official residence of the former president. It is also part of the program and agreement that at all times the body would be moving from Chifwema to Mulungushi Conference Center for purposes of body viewing, the state funeral, as well as the burial service on the 23rd. However, the notice from RDA put it across that the road would be under maintenance. When this was brought to our attention, we advised the Secretary to the Cabinet that we weren't comfortable with these works as they tended to go against the agreement that we had. When this was brought to their attention, the said works were suspended until further notice. However, on the 17th of June 2025, the Secretary to the Cabinet issued a statement restricting people from receiving or at least witnessing the arrival of the remains of the former president. This notice was issued without consultation with the family, and further, no opportunity whatsoever was given to the family to indicate whom they wished to invite, if at all the attendance was by invitation, nor were they given any chance to say anything as regards the said invitation. When the Secretary to the Cabinet was engaged, he only stated that there were security concerns, which concerns still have not been stated to the family. Following that statement, the next thing was that there was a program for the arrival of the body at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport. This program suggested that upon arrival at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, the body would be taken to a designated place for a church service, and thereafter it would be received by President Hakainde Hichilema at the airport. This position was not an agreed position with the family, and the program was made without consultation with the family. When this matter was made known to the Secretary to the Cabinet, he stated that the same was released in error and was a draft, and as such should not have been released. Before long, yet another statement, which they termed a combined program, was released, which essentially contained the same, but further went to suggest.
So that is the family spokesperson, of course, preceding the sister to the later president, who said that given the power and all the authority to Honorable Makebi, to be the family spokesperson. Yeah, so it is in that press conference actually where they announced that the body was not coming. That was yesterday. However, in the evenings also we saw Secretary to Cabinet releasing a press release and mentioning that calling upon the country to remain calm, the citizens to remain calm, and that negotiations will continue between family and government, and that the president at an opportune time will be giving a national address. Vincent, it keeps on rambling on. What would you want to see in few words?
Yeah, I think what I would love to see is as quickly as possible everything is normalized. The president, the former president, the late president, is given a befitting burial, repatriated to Zambia, then be given a befitting burial. And yeah, because his death is not just it did not just affect the Zambians, so to say. Even other countries, he was head of states. And of course, the more we continue in this state, the more the country looks like they are. I mean, it's
Vincent,
in a
how can we
state.
come to what you are talking about?
Yeah,
Just quickly, how can we come to that? What should happen? What should government do? And family.
Yeah, because I think it's clear the Lungu family they have what they have put across, which government should follow. For me, I think at the end of the day, it's the family that has lost their beloved one, and of course he was head of state, but I think to a greater extent, the family has got a bigger say in this situation. So I think
we are told Zambia has no law, so which should take charge in this case.
Yes.
In my thinking, maybe it's just an issue of following precedents. What happened, for example, when Frederick Chiruba died? What happened when Mwanawasa died? What happened when KK died? Of course, situations differ, but there's that precedence, and I'm sure maybe that is what has been that is what probably government has been trying to do. But I think in all of it, what is at the center is that the family is clear, like you've said. They don't want the president in this. Maybe that is what should just happen. The president maybe should just stay away. And the other thing is, in order for them not to miss anything that the family is talking about, maybe they take those things down, all the things that the family wants, and then government should be like, okay, yes, this we can do, this we can do, this with this, and then this we can't, and then those that government can't, let them be in favor of government. For example, if they tell you have to get a plane to take the body to Chadiza as government, then you are not able, you tell them, this, sorry, we are not able. So maybe government should just come in as where they can help relieve the burden of the family. That's what they should do. And then where they are told this you shouldn't do, this will do. Like they agreed that they will bring the remains of the president using a private jet. They agreed that should be done. Maybe that's how we can reach to a conclusion. Otherwise, a lot of things are on standstill. And most of the things that are on standstill need to be done. For example, ECZ, Electoral Commission of Zambia, yesterday also released a statement that the by-election slated for, is it 26th of June, for Lumezi, they have to go ahead despite whatever happens, because the Constitution stipulates that the by-election should take place within 90 days. So the Lumezi by-election, as we stand, is going ahead. And look, people need to be campaigning, and and if you campaign with the national money, how would people look at you? There are also people, like we show the picture, the burial site is ready. There are people who are waiting there and getting allowances and everything. You see, and there are things even here. We are to play songs of national mourning. The media everywhere has to do the same. We have programs that probably help us to run these media stations, but then you have to play songs throughout and messages. So things are on standstill. And generally, yesterday, feelings were like, oh, the funeral now is coming and the like. And then, it is different when you have a funeral and the remains are still at the mortuary. When they bring at home, the feeling is different. The emotions are different. So the emotions for now are a little bit apart, and you hear some people, you see what I mean? So I think that is what we wish that hopefully when the president will address as they talk with the family, maybe they should do, instead of also hearing just rumors, no, the secretary to cabinet is lying. When they agree, let those agreements, so everything, all the demands, let them put them in black and white, so that every person can read, oh, this is what the family said, this is what government said they will not do, this is blah, 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 and because of this, we are going ahead. It will be clear. Yeah? Me, that is what I see. I don't know.
Yeah. I think, Sydney, you are spot on, because look, the family, like I said, is clear. That's what they want, and there's no law that says this is what government should do. So if I mean, that's what we do. Even our families as individuals, the family has got a bigger say than the community, than any other person, than the church, and so on. So this is the situation that we are in. So if the family says this is what we want, let them get what they want, and then we move on. Because at the end of the day, this funeral involves a head of state. And the more we are delaying the process, the more the country is at standstill, and people are not moving. Things have gone on a standstill. So we need to move on and get to a different chapter at the end of the day.
Yeah, so maybe, Vincent, as we run towards the end, we started this program a little bit late. Let's get to sports. Muzala Simkonga has been officially ranked as the third fastest 400-meter runner in the world, according to World Athletics global rankings. How does this make you feel?
Well, this is very, very good news to Zambia. Look, this is one athlete that has really, really done wonders for Zambia. It's been a long time since we saw an athlete coming out of Zambia. I think the last that we saw that was looking like someone that is that brought medals is Sanmo Matete, and we're talking about in the 90s, early 90s, and so on. So from that time up to now, there's been this huge gap until now. We have someone that is going to the Olympics, bringing medals, all Africa Games, and so on and so forth. And now, being ranked as one of the best, I think this is very good news for Zambia. And this actually shows that we have good athletes in Zambia, but I think maybe what is lacking is the nurturing and just the facilities that we have. Maybe they are not that good. And I think with the coming in of Muzala Simkonga, I think we inspire quite a lot of athletes that want to come and join the athletics and see it as a different sport that can actually help them. Because look at what Simkonga is now, and look at what he was a few years ago. Because of athletics is now at a different level altogether.
So Vincent, in the interest of time, maybe we end here. Hopefully that director there will find us a song to end this program as we continue to mourn late President Edgar Chagwadungo and pray earnestly that the standoff that is between government and the family comes to a proper end, and so we give a dignified burial to the late president, and then we continue one Zambia, one nation. Vincent, your closing remarks.
Well, of course, like you said, we are in a mourning period, and I think, of course, we wish the quickest possible time that this thing come to an end, and Zambia gets back to itself. And I think congratulations to Muzala Simkonga and all the athletes that are doing Zambia proud.
So, dear viewers, that's what we had for today's program. Join us again on Tuesday when we come back, probably with some good news on the funeral front. From me, Vincent, and the entire crew, it's bye for now.
Mwelesa tulelomba fwe bana benu pamonga ba Defense and Security Choir Central Province Kawe bali bakateka n'abanesi abo abatusha tuleti imyeo shabo shitushe muchigote.
The song's major music.
Vaya imwe, vena mukutushapo. Vaya imwe, vanensu vaya imwe, vena mukutu. Avanensu vaya, washala fweka. Walilufya nengo mbae, shali